What we're going to be covering on today's live stream is quite crazy. We're going to be covering the case study of how we have taken one creator from $8,000 a month to $182,000 per month. We're going to go through the entire case study on today's live stream. All right? It's going to be a cooker. But just before I do that, I'll give it a couple minutes for people to join. I'll also just promote this on the Instagram. Also, by the way, for any of you guys, if you guys could do me a favor, I'd always appreciate it. If you guys could take a picture of you watching me live on YouTube, and just take a picture of your laptop or whatever, put it on your Instagram story and tag me. I'll be able to see it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That would be very nice of you. We are live. Boom. How many of you guys enjoyed yesterday's live stream? Was it all good? It all worked? It was fine? All right. Just posting the story, and then we are ready to rock and roll. All right, boom. All right. Good evening, G. Dimitar, how are you? Good evening. How's everyone doing? Red, I remember you from yesterday. Hello. Iris, Mason, what's good? How are you? Iris, where are you from? I think I might have seen you yesterday. If I didn't, or if I did, and I don't remember you, I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce this Russian name, but I do remember you from yesterday. How are you? Yeah, let's get cooking. I know. Let me give you guys a sneak little preview of what we're about to be cooking. Stefan, your name's Stefan. Okay, nice to meet you, Stefan. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. Yeah, let me show you this shit. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, wow. I actually have figured, look how good I am at this shit, boys, and ladies. I've actually figured out how to now share my screen as well. So this is not us jumping into it just yet, but just to give you guys a small sneak peek of what we will be going through. We're going to be covering this. So how the hell have I gone from, and by the way, I'll also share my inflow, which you guys can see underneath here, right? You can kind of see a little sneak peek of it. I'll be sharing all of it in today's live stream on how we took this creator from just $8,700 a month all the way to $182,000 last month in October. So it's going to be quite the fucking live stream, all right? So also, if I zoom out, there's quite a few notes that I've got right here. It's gonna be a big one. All right. So this one, make sure you have your notepads and a pen ready, because this is gonna be a big boy one. All right. Cool. Let me zoom back into here. You know what? I actually quite enjoy doing these live streams. I'm not gonna lie. I actually really do, because I get to talk to you guys on the live stream. You guys can ask me questions, I can answer them in real time, and so on. Somebody said, can you turn your volume up a little bit, bro? Question for everybody else is, because I'm looking at OBS where the microphone is, and it's the perfect level. Like if it was any more, it would be peaking at the red, meaning that it sounds like distorted. So Chad, I know this might sound fucking stupid, but have you turned up your volume on your laptop or your phone all the way? I'm not gonna lie, bro. That might just be you, bro. I didn't have anyone say this yesterday. Okay. Okay, so we have the story live. The school post has gone live. Someone said it is quiet. Okay, let me do this actually. Hold on. All right, cool. Let me one more. No. There we go. Yeah, this should be fine. Oh shit. Okay, what about this? Is this better? Check, 1, 2, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. Is this better? I think this should be better. Right? It's pretty low, but it's not a big deal. Yes, it's better. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Pepper, thank you. Glad it wasn't just me. Yeah. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for telling me that. You are right. It was on more like a lower volume. Yeah, better. All right. Perfect. Okay. Ladies and gents, I am pretty ready to jump into it if you guys are. All right. So yeah, matter of fact, let me actually put it on the second thing, and then we'll start with this. All right. Cool. Let me just get rid of that as well. All right, cool. Okay, cool. I'm ready to jump into it if you guys are. So, and also, as always, ask me questions in the chat, as always, and I'll be happy to answer them throughout this, all right? Okay, cool. So let's jump into it. So welcome back to the next lesson. Now this one is going to be very informational for whether you're just starting out or you're making $10, $50, $100,000 a month already with your agency. There's going to be a lot that you're going to be able to take away from this, because in this specific live event, we're going to be going through exactly how we've taken a client from $8,700 a month. So this is the total that this creator made. Let me actually put in a different color. So it was $8,700 total. She was trying everything by herself. She was thinking of the content ideas. She was doing the chatting. She was doing the marketing. She was doing the editing, the posting, everything by herself. And she could just about get to $8,700, which, by the way, trust me, I know, to a lot of, to me, especially when I was working at a 9-to-5, $8,700 a month is a lot of money. But what's crazy is in this space of OnlyFans management, that really isn't a crazy amount of money. But how do we take this creator from 8.7K to now making last month $182,997? So to round it up, $183,000. That is quite a fucking difference. This specific creator has now been able to retire her parents, buy 2 homes, travel the world, buy a Lamborghini, which is pretty cool, but most importantly, help her family out, and yeah, she's an absolute superstar. So in today's video, we're going to be going through exactly how the hell do you go from that to this, and again, just to give you guys a little bit more proof as well, here is a screenshot from my emails. On the right hand side here, you can see like the dates, right? So this is practically on a weekly basis when we are sending out the invoices. So every single week we're getting a payment. So 15,000, 14.9 thousand, 16.3 thousand, 19.7 thousand. So once you really understand what I'm about to teach you guys in today's live event, I mean, as long as you implement it and you stay consistent, you really could get up to these numbers. And again, by the way, this is my invoices, just to be completely transparent. This is what I invoice just one of my clients every single week. So these are every single week. So look, for example, this is 1st of October and this is the 30th. So in just October, we received 16.8, 11.8, 18.3, 15.8, 23.2. Also, just for some context, because somebody might be like, wait a minute, but that's not 50% of this. We invoice 2 weeks later than the current week. Again, all of that will be explained on the future events. Okay. One more thing, just to show you guys, okay? So you guys should be able to, see this now. So this right here, this is inflow, right? So on the left-hand side on here, this is where the clients are. So I will obviously, hide the names of the clients. However, this is her OnlyFans account. So, I can, for example, refresh this so you guys can see it. So yeah, let me refresh this 1 second. I don't know why it's gone to statistics. Okay, hold on. I don't know why it's done that. 1 second. I was about to expose everything. All right, let me sort this back out 1 second. I don't know why that's happened. Give me a sec. Let me go back to, I think it's because I turned my VPN off. I just realized. Yeah, I think that's probably why. Is it gonna load? Okay, yeah, I turned my VPN off. I just realized. Womp womp. Anyway, so I guess, fuck's sake, there's always some sort of a logistical bullshit problem. Yeah, and I can't turn it back on because now the whole live stream is gonna go down. Great, fucking fantastic. But anyway, you guys saw me scrolling around. Fucking, if you don't believe me, I literally could not give a single fuck. All right, let's move on. So anyway, so I wanted to go through in a chronological order of what did we do for this specific creator and how did we do it. So let's just jump straight into it, okay? So, and also please honestly take notes because there's a lot of valuable takeaways that you'll be able to learn from this, all right? So first things first, everything starts off with an audit. So an audit essentially is where we log into the OnlyFans accounts, and we use a software called Inflow to log into all of our clients' accounts. Inflow, think of it like how Shopify is for dropshipping, right? Or just e-commerce. Everybody uses it. It's the most common platform. And the way that Inflow works for OnlyFans is you can attach as many OnlyFans accounts to your Inflow account as you want, because the alternative is you'd have to keep logging in and out of each one of your clients' accounts on Google Chrome or Safari, etc. That's a nightmare, and you obviously don't want to do that. So instead, you have your Inflow and you connect all of your clients' accounts to your Inflow account. So anyway, the first thing that we done is we connected our client's OnlyFans account to Inflow, and we done an audit. So what is an audit and what exactly did we look at? So the first thing is to go through the statistics, okay? So within the statistics, we are looking at how many visitors, like profile visitors, how many subscribers, how many expired subscribers, what are the top fans, how much have they spent, the conversations that they've had, are they expired, are they currently subscribed, what kind of content have they been sold, what is the price of the content that has been sold. Then we go ahead and look at the mass messages, mass pay-per-view messages, and so on and so on and so on. We then look at the wall posts, okay, what level of explicitity is it? We'll look at the profile, right? So like the cover photo, the bio, all these things can be slightly adjusted and changed. But anyway, we look at all of these different things, okay? That's the first thing, which is an audit, okay? So also the reason why that is important, just for some of you guys that have been wondering like, well, I don't do this, what's the fucking point of it? Is if you don't do it, well, you're kind of just going in blind, right? And what you're probably going to try and do is do the same thing for this client as you've done for all your other clients, but that's not quite how it works. I mean, the same analogy could be used as a doctor, like in a doctor's office, right? Like if you, for example, have, I don't know, severe headache, probably should have a coffee and some push-ups, right? But let's just say you have a severe headache and you go into a doctor's office, and this doctor had the last 9 clients he has had, or patients, I guess, the last 9 patients he has had, they all had like a stomach issue, and he prescribed them with this tablet and it fixed their stomach issue, right? If you now come in with a headache, and your stomach is completely fine, and he just goes, yep, just take this because all of my other clients, it's worked for them with this thing, right? And you take it, your problem is not fixed. If anything, you now have probably some other problem, right? Anyway, the same concept is here. Every single OnlyFans creator that you sign on, sure, the concept will be pretty similar. You need to help them with marketing and chatting, but the intricacies will be slightly different. So for example, right, some creators, for some fucking reason, they just post like fully nude content on their wall, right? Their wall content for free, or well, $20 a month, $10 a month, whatever the subscription is, right? That's not good for you. Like if you're trying to actually make money in the DMs, it's going to be very difficult if on the wall there's loads of naked pictures and videos of the person, right? Because then think about it. Why would the subscriber, the fan, go and spend money in the DMs, okay? There's a million different nuances that can happen here, but I'm just trying to give you one example. So if, let's just say, in this specific example, you never looked at that and you never saw that and you never double checked that, and you're going into the DMs and you're trying to make sales, but no one's buying, and you're like, why isn't anybody buying? Well, that would be one very, very clear reason as to why they're not buying, okay? And there's so many other things. So anyway, the first thing is an audit. The next thing is we made changes on the OnlyFans account, okay? So what were these changes? First of all, we slightly readjusted the cover photo. So believe it or not, it does slightly help. So the cover photo was the first thing. The second thing was the bio. So if I do remember correctly, this specific creator had like a tip list or like a list of pricing. And I just think that's not the best way to do it. Because, well, in that case, you're making it very transactional. When the subscriber comes onto the account, instantly he or she can see all of these prices, and like there's no more interaction anymore, right? Like it's like, all right, well, $20 here, all right, cool, I want this thing, boom. And yeah, sure, you can make that $20 sale, but then they just want that thing. And also you can't really sell anything for more because you already said this is how much these things are. So it's a very lazy way. So anyway, we changed the cover photo, we changed the bio. Next thing we done is we added some discount links or like special offers. So if I remember correctly, it was just $10 or like $9.99, right? So we made a promo link, which was $20 subscription with a 50% discount. The same amount at the end of the day, but it seems like a bargain. It seems like a 50% discount. Oh my God, yeah. For the next 3 people only, boom. It will increase the conversion, okay? We organized the vault slightly. There wasn't really too much that we fucked around with the actual vault, if I'm honest. And anyway, so we made a few slight changes to the OnlyFans account. So then, the first practical thing that we done with the creator to start increasing her earnings was we firstly started with consistent daily uploads to Instagram, okay? So for this specific client, she was uploading like 4 or 5 times a week, which, believe it or not, is actually better than most other OnlyFans creators, like, believe it or not. But we simply started getting consistent once a day upload, right? It wasn't anything crazy. It was still the same level, the same production level, similar content to what she was already doing, but we started getting consistent just once a day, okay? That's the first increase that you guys can do. Because for most OF creators out there, most of them, they only post, like, they don't post every single day, right? And that's where you can come on board. So when you come on board and you help them now, do every single day consistent posting, assuming that the content gets similar amount of views, you have potentially 2x'd, 5x'd the amount of accounts that you're reaching every single week. Therefore, obviously funneling more traffic over to OnlyFans, which is going to get more subscribers, which is going to give you more sales opportunities, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But yeah, the next, so that was the first practical thing, which was we just stayed consistent with social media. That was it. Now, a funny little story, and this happens all the time with a lot of people. We simply asked the creator, like, hey, look, why aren't you doing daily posts? Oh, well, I don't have the time, I can't create content all day, every day. And also the thing that, just in general, is time, right? Then I was like, okay, but what specifically is taking up the most amount of your time? And then she said it was to come up with the content ideas in the first place, right? So boom, we help them with that. So we help with the content ideas. We come up with exactly what kind of content to create, what outfits she can wear, how is the camera angled, the lighting, like we came up with all of these different things, okay? Anyway, great. The next thing, so let me just scroll down here. Cool. So then the next thing is we started a second backup Instagram account. So if you and your clients do not have a second backup account, that is a big, big mistake. Simply because if, God forbid, something happens to your main Instagram accounts, if it gets shadow banned or just banned in general, you need a backup just in case. So that's what we've done. And then also on top of that, it's always better to post twice a day than just once, right? So now we started doing once every day on the main account and once every other day on the second account, okay? So now there was more content being put out than ever before. So we really started doubling down on content and on social media. And again, for context, at this point, there really was not, no crazy massive increases. If I remember correctly, the actual client, wait, is inflow loaded now? We have been blessed. I actually don't know how that's happened, but we're back. Baby, we're back. Let me share my screen, because I'm sure there's some little fucker that's like, oh, but he didn't share his screen. Right, there you go, suck your mum, right? Anyway, so this is the $8,700 where we started, okay? And then as you can see, look, $13,000, sure, bit of an increase, nothing too crazy, right? And then $25,600, sure, definitely a decent increase, but again, nothing too crazy. And then bow, $70,600, and then it went down to 37. I'll explain all that in just a second. But anyway, so as you can see, the first thing that I'm trying to make sense here for you guys, right, is that we did not go from 8.7K to like $100,000 in the first month. It literally went from 8.7 to 13K. And from 13K to 25. It was nothing too drastic, right? It's nothing too crazy. So let's actually go back. Okay, sweet. So I'm going to keep sharing the screen sharing and keep showing you guys the results because I don't think anyone ever actually does that in this industry because they don't, surprisingly enough, they don't have these results. So I'm going to keep going back to those every now and then to just share with you guys at what stage we implemented what and how big of an increase that made. So, any questions so far, by the way, guys, right? So far, we firstly done an audit. We then made changes to the OnlyFans accounts based off of the audits. We then started with consistent uploads on Instagram. We then started a backup Instagram account as well to start posting even more content, right? We also had an actual onboarding call. So after we done the audit, we actually had a Zoom call with the creator to go through everything that we had learned from doing the deep dive audit through her socials and her OnlyFans. Okay, no questions? Good. So, from here, we initially scaled with about 2 to 3 chatters. So initially, because it was just such a small account, and it was like $8,000 and then $13,000, because it was so small, we actually started with just 2 chatters, and then very quickly we added a third one. So it was nothing crazy. It was no crazy setup where we had 20 chatters, you know, and blah, 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 right? Super simple stuff. We just started with 2 chatters, and then we added the third one. For anybody who's completely brand new to OnlyFans as well, each chatter is the person that obviously types and replies to all the messages, right? Each chatter does an 8-hour shift. Once this person logs off and finishes their shift, the next one logs on and does 8 hours, right? Once this one finishes his shift, the third one jumps on and does 8 hours. By the time the third one finishes his or her shift, the first one has had sleep and come back and is now ready to begin his shift again. And then this is how you can manage 24/7 with the chatting, okay? Cool. So that's super simple. We then started to market on X and Twitter. And also, again, for context, and we're gonna get to it in just a second, but so far, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary when it comes to marketing and chatting and so on. It was just the basics and the fundamentals, okay? That's what you need to first lock in and understand, which we're gonna be going through all of these live streams and the future lessons coming up here, okay? Only then, we then started with X and Twitter marketing. So with this, well, X is now Twitter, right? Anyway, so with this, we simply, again, stayed consistent with just 1 post every day. And then what we started doing is following a lot of these big pages on Twitter and turning on the post notifications. And then as soon as they make a post, what we would do is we would comment underneath that post with our clients' accounts and be one of the first people. So if this post that is tweeted by some big meme page, for example, with 300,000 followers, if this post would get 1 million views and we are the first person to comment underneath it with our clients' accounts, if this post got 1 million views, we would probably also get around 250,000 views on our comments. And then we'd have a free trial link on there, and then that's how we'd funnel a bunch of people over to our OnlyFans, right? Super simple tactic, but it worked very well. We then started to leverage high converting script content, okay? So again, there will be an entire lesson later on about chatting and what are scripts and so on. But just as a quick overview for anybody who does not know, scripted content is essentially where you will get your creator to go ahead and take photos and videos, and it gets progressively more and more intimate, right? And more explicit. So first of all, the creator is fully clothed, right? And then as each photo and video, progresses, the creator gets more and more naked and blah, blah, the content gets more explicit, right? And then of course also the actual pricing of this content increases also, right? Because here, the creator is fully clothed and maybe that's like $15, right? The next one is gonna be slightly more, around $30, $45. And then you get the idea, and it keeps going and going and going, okay? Now, the way that we do scripted content is, I truly believe, different to most other people. Like, we still do market research, like we spend money on other people's OF accounts, and we have a specific staff member that does market research, and I still don't think anybody is doing it like how we are. So again, that will be in a future live stream. So make sure you come back at this exact same time to check in on these live streams, okay? Start to leverage high converting scripted content. So we wrote out exactly what the creator has to do within each piece of content on a Google document, right? So for first one, you're gonna do this and you're gonna wear that. Next one, you're gonna take off this piece of clothing and you're gonna do that, and this is how long the video needs to be. The next one, you're now gonna get this piece of clothing off, and now you're gonna do this and say this into the camera. This is how long we want it to be. And we explain exactly what we need, how we need it, how long we need, etc. We took this document, we sent it to the client, and then she just created it. Amazing. She then creates the content, uploads it into a Google Drive, and then we then upload this content into OnlyFans, okay, on the Vault. Simple, okay? Understand? Capish? Everyone's with me so far, yes? Put a yes in the chat if you guys are following so far and you're excited to hear the real juicy parts where like we really started scaling to like $100,000, $150,000, $180,000 a month. Yeah, we're gonna be going over some crazy stuff here. I know so far for some of you guys, this is I think a lot of you guys here are beginners, but this is gonna be good. Yes, yes, okay, fantastic, good. Okay, cool. So the scripted content, that is what really cooked for us. So again, if I transition back to sharing with you guys, that is what happened right here. So at $70.6 thousand, that is where we made a fuck ton of money from the scripts, right? From the scripted content. Now, for context, with February, there were two issues why there was a bit of a dip here. One, it was my internal team. So there's a bit of an issue with my internal team. I had to fire one of my chatter managers. Not going to get into too much detail about it on this one because it's not related to this lesson, but there was a bit of an internal issue, but also the client, she went on a bit of a holiday, not really a holiday, but a bit of a trip. And obviously she made a bit of money, so she wanted to enjoy herself, right? Therefore the content slowed down slightly and so on and so on. Anyway, but then we started to pick things back up. So then from 37K, we ended up at 52, but then here's a big jump. We went from $52,000 to practically doubling the account to $108,000. So how the fuck do we do that, right? Which also, by the way, which is quite ironic, like thinking back at it now, this is insane how we've only done, we've done $27.8 thousand in subscriptions, which is very good, but we only made $73,000 in messages, which is insane. Like to anybody who knows anything about OFM, you'll know that this is like so bad, like in terms of ratios. And let's go into all of that. What happened? What did I learn from it? And so on. All right. Okay, cool. So what's the next thing that we done? So then we upped the social media content output to twice a day posting instead of just one. So now we really figured out, okay, so we now have the chatters. We now have the actually the chatter manager comes after. We then realized, okay, everything is working. The scripted content, also for a bit of context, the scripted content is coming on a weekly basis. There is no right or wrong, but we asked for 2 scripts every single week just because of the sheer volume of viral content that we were producing. So we had to churn through this content as quickly as possible because there were so many fans coming in, they were buying everything, and then we needed more content to obviously sell to them, okay? Anthony, that shit is real. Which specific part? So anyway, we upped the social media content output, okay? So we went from posting just once a day on the main account and once every other day on the second account to now posting twice a day on the main account and once every day on the backup account. So now we increased it even more. And obviously, again, we were still sending content ideas for the clients. We're also now helping her edit some of the content, and she was the one uploading it for the most part. We managed the backup account, so we would post for the backup account because I hired somebody in the UK to be the one that is posting on there. But anyway, what's next? So the next thing is we then hired three more chatters for her account and a chatter manager. So this is where there was a huge shift, right? So bear in mind by this point, we literally just had 3 chatters that were trying to manage all the DMs. And again, just for anybody who's brand new, there is a peak hour, obviously, or peak hours, right? A peak period, which is obviously when the guys are at home, they just go back home from work and whatever, which is typically like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., till about midnight to 1 a.m. Again, it really depends on the account, blah, blah, but typically those are the peak hours, the late evening, the late night shift, right? Now, at this point, we still had just 1 chatter managing that whole shift, which is insane, right? So we obviously doubled down and we hired 3 more chatters. So now, for just this 1 OnlyFans creator, we had 6 chatters that were working full-time. And now we also hired a chatter manager, because by this point, it was simply me and my business partner that were trying to manage all these chatters, check in with them, tell them when they fucked up, giving them strikes, giving them bonuses when they do things good, constantly training them every single day, motivating them, and so on. Okay? Cool. So now we thought, okay, this is costing us so much fucking time. Like, we practically can't do anything else. We need to hire somebody. So this is where we went from, again, just to go back to this. This is where we had that massive jump from $52.5K to $108,000, because we doubled down on the content output, and we had now twice the amount of chatters, and we now had a chatter manager that oversees all of the chatters to make sure they're doing their job correctly, and so on. Okay. Anyway. So then, as you can see, there was a bit of a plateau. I would argue that 116K is still a plateau within these months. So 108K to 104K is still definitely a plateau. I mean, that's practically the same month, right? However, I would also say 116K is also a bit of a plateau. It's obviously a bit of an increase, but I would still say it's nothing too drastic of an increase from 108K, which was from here, okay? Anyway, so let's talk about how do we then go from a plateauing at like 100K a month, which again, I know and also for context again, this client is on 50%. So for most people, like, actually realize how fucking insane that is. Like, we're at this point already only about 5 months into working with this client. So we started, like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So 6 months into working with just 1 client, we are taking home over $50,000. So for this particular month, it was $54,000. Do you understand? After 6 months of signing a client that was only at 8.7K, that's really not out of the norm, by the way, for context. Like, maybe to some of you guys, $8,700 is like insane, and you're like, holy fucking shit, like, that's life-changing amounts of money, sure. But OnlyFans, trust me, it is not. Like, on OnlyFans, there's a lot of girls making 8.7K. I'm talking hundreds of thousands, by the way. Hundreds of thousands. After 6 months of just working with the creator, we are already at a run rate of us as an agency take home $54,000. And also, by the way, in terms of costs, I mean, our profit margins have never dipped. The lowest our profit margins have ever been was 83%. The lowest it's ever been, for context, which is pretty nuts. So out of that $54,000, we get to pocket quite a lot of it, right? So anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to the lessons. Okay, so how do we then go from scaling past that plateau of around 100K, right? Because we were kind of stuck there. We then started launching monthly themed games on her OnlyFans account. This one was crazy as well. Okay. So these monthly themed games on OnlyFans has been a life changer. So, not a life changer, a game changer. So first of all, you got to understand there are over 4 million active OnlyFans creators. Now, to you as an agency owner, that's amazing. That's really good, because you have over 4 million potential clients that you can work with, okay? As an OnlyFans creator, that's not the best news, because there is a lot of competition. So for every single fan and subscriber that subscribes to you as an OnlyFans model, they probably also subscribe to a bunch of other girls, right? So you have to stand out. You have to be different, look different. The account has to be fun, it has to stand out, it has to be different, okay? And what everybody does, like what everybody on OnlyFans does, is they will simply do the most basic shit. Put simply, right? They'll post on the wall some explicit content, they'll do a bit of chatting, they'll send a few little mass messages here and there, and they'll try and sell some bullshit for like $10. And they'll sell full explicit content for like $10. The guy pays $10 and he sees everything of the girl, right? That's what most people do, right? Now what we do is think of it this way, right? If I said Puma and I said Louis Vuitton, I just said two brands, right? Didn't give you any context, I just said two brands. Most likely, unless you're fucking, I don't know, an alien or something, most likely you would instantly presume Louis Vuitton of a higher status. Of course you fucking would. It's a luxury brand. Puma, I'm pretty sure my fucking uncle back in Latvia wears Puma tracksuits, right? He lives like, I'm joking, anyway. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is you want to make sure that the perceived value of your client on OnlyFans is as high as possible. I know just some of you guys who are brand new and you're thinking, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? We're talking about OnlyFans and selling titty pictures. I know, bro, but you have to understand about consumer mentality, right? Consumerism. Like, if somebody perceives the value to be low, well, then everything else is like, well, it doesn't really seem exciting. It doesn't seem premium. It doesn't seem a privilege to be a part of it or to see it. You see what I'm saying? But when it's the opposite, when something seems to be premium, you all of a sudden hold more worth to it, right? Hold more value to it. You appreciate it a lot more. You're more locked in on that thing, right? You wanna see more of it. You wanna be around more of it, or whatever the thing is, right? You get what I'm trying to say. So that's what we're trying to do here. So this is where there was a big mindset shift for us, which was, okay, like we have to make our clients stand out, right? And the perceived value has to be as high as possible, okay? So that's what we've done in the chats. So within the chats, we did not sell anything for less than $15. That was like the cheapest thing. And even then, by the way, that's fully clothed content. Okay, that's not anything explicit. That's fully clothed content at $15, right? They have to work towards getting something that is more explicit, and they have to pay for that. But then, yeah, the games. Let's talk about those, which is what really gave us a massive boost, which finally got us out of this plateau. So with these games, basically what they are, you basically will post a wall post on OnlyFans, and it can be as simple as like spin the wheel. And there's perhaps like an illustration with like, it's a picture cut out of the girl, right? You illustrate like, or it's Photoshop, right? You put a picture of the girl, on this, and then behind her, she has like this big spin the wheel, right? And on the spin the wheel, there are a bunch of different prizes that people can win, okay? And in order for the fan to play and spin the wheel, he has to tip. And for every single time he tips, you can literally, like, this is the most easiest example, right? You guys can literally go on Google and you can search like spin the wheel. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find one real quick. Spin the wheel. Like literally, this is as simple as that. Like I'm literally showing this to you in real time. Okay, so what you would do is you would make this picture, right? Of the spin the wheel with a cutout of the model, right? And you'd post this on the wall on OnlyFans. And then you would basically say, hey guys, you can win any of these prizes. And each one of these prizes, for context, would be like whatever they want to see, like titty pictures, ass picture, bundle, 3-month subscription. You get what I'm saying, right? Use your creative juices, yeah? And then you basically say, tip $15 and I'll give you a spin. What you do is you screen record either on your phone or your MacBook, literally going like this. And obviously, by the way, obviously these are not like, this is just a filler. I just went on this website and it says these things. But for you, it would obviously say like, you know, whatever, bundle, you know, 50% off. You get what I'm saying, right? And then boom, you screen record and you press play, right? And for context, you're screen recording this, okay? Whatever, fucking cool, you won Eric. Obviously this is a joke, but you get what I'm saying. And then you now finish the screen recording, you get it? Hopefully you guys can't hear that, I think that's kind of loud. Anyway, you guys do the screen recording, okay? And then you do this a bunch of times. You do a bunch of these screen recordings. And then every single time the fan tips the $15, you DM him the screen recording, right? You get to choose what he wins, obviously, right? And then, oh, congratulations, you won a picture of fucking this. You won 50% off, right? And then boom, you send them these things. And then they want to tip again. They tip another 15 because they want to spin again, right? And then all of a sudden, bro, I know $15 might not sound like a lot, but you got to remember, there are thousands of people on the account. Like I'm talking thousands. And like you only need a couple hundred to tip $15 twice. And then some of them will do it 3 times. Some of them will do it 20 times. Do you understand? And then if you extrapolate that out to 10, 50, 100, 200, 300 people, you understand? Cool. So that got us out of the rut. That was huge. We started playing these games, and then you can just be as creative as possible. I just gave you guys one simple analogy or one simple example, which is spin the wheel, which is super simple, right? But you can do a bunch of these, okay? Cool. Next thing, okay? Next thing is we then introduced AI voice notes and then started to nurture the larger spenders and whales, okay? So this is a big one. So with AI voice notes, which is most people don't even use this, right? With AI voice notes, you are able to replicate your client's voice to like one-to-one. We used, and I'll give you guys this for free, we use a software called 11 Labs, which is a game changer. It's, can't remember how much, maybe like $150 a month or so. And all you simply need is your client to record as long of a voice note as possible, right? She can read a book, she can talk into it, whatever, just as long as it's clear audio. There's not a bunch of background noise, it doesn't sound echoey, etc. All right? You get your client to record these long-ass voice notes, you put them into 11 Labs, and then with 11 Labs, you can literally recreate her voice. And then, right, this is where the genius comes in. If the fan's name is Mike, you will then put his name in the voice note, and in the voice note, with her voice, because it sounds like it's her, you can say his name in it, right? All of a sudden, the user experience is so much better, yeah, you're able to obviously save time because the client does not have to keep re-recording these voice notes, and so on. We also have figured out a way to connect it to Discord, so no longer do our chatters have to now log into 11 Labs and figure all this shit out by themselves and, you know, blah, blah. They literally just stay on Discord, which is where we have all of our chatters on and we manage all of them on there. And on Discord, they just type out what they want the voice note to say, press enter, I swear to fucking God, 3 seconds later, a voice note with the client's name is created. They download it, upload it to OnlyFans, boom, send it. This has been insane. Like, the power of AI when it comes to the voice is crazy, okay? And then we started doing that with the big spenders and whales, so people that have spent a load of money. It's a personal touch, right? And at the end of the day, bro, like a lot of the spenders, all they really care about is getting more content from the girl, right? Most of them, like 99%, I would say, they know they're not gonna fucking meet the girl. Like it's just a bit of online fun. They're gonna spend $1,000 on online casino or roulette anyway. They might as well fucking spend, maybe they enjoy this more than a casino. Who fucking cares, right? At the end of the day, they feel like they're getting more value. They feel like they're getting more of a personal touch. So that works very well, okay? Cool. That has been a game changer, especially with the whole Discord setup. And again, all of these things, by the way, we do cover. Also, yeah, I'll say this actually at the very end. I have a little surprise for you guys at the end of this live stream. I just remembered. I was going to do it at the beginning, but I'll do it at the end. Cool. So make sure you guys stay to the end. Like that actually is important. Okay, cool. So the next one, okay, so how do we then scale to the next level, right? So if we go back to here, so that's how we got out of the rut, right? And we slowly started scaling. So 144,000, and then, I mean, that's not really a slow scale, it's like an extra 30,000. And how do we then still increase it by basically an extra 10, so like 6K? How do we still kept increasing it by another 6K and kept that momentum up, okay? So let me go through that next part with you guys. So after the AI voice notes and stuff, we then found a winning vertical on social media and hired paid actors and videographers and upped the content production level, which is, yeah, Martin, funny enough, I don't know if you're talking about this, but yeah, that's exactly what we done to go ahead and get to that next level. So we figured out that content with other people performs very, very well. So, and then the problem is that she only has so many friends that are happy to do content with her on Reels and TikToks, right? Most people don't want to do it. So then we're like, okay, well, we need more people. So why don't we just pay somebody? And then we're like, okay, well, there's only so many of our friends that would now be down to do it for money. So we're like, okay, well, why don't we hire paid actors? Because they will literally do things on camera once they're paid. So that's what we done. So we hired paid actors to come on and help with just the safe for work content. So this is just like Instagram Reels, interactions in the street. Believe it or not, most of the shit that you guys see online is all fake and staged. This is one of it. Like I'm the one that's producing half of it, right? So yeah, so we started just getting a bunch of paid actors to help with the content. We also hired a videographer. So now instead of, just her friend helping every now and then, there's an actual professional videographer that would go and do the camera angles and all this shit. They'll get some crazy content and so on. We've really upped the production level here as well, okay? So no longer it was just some old iPhone. Some of it was with a professional camera. Some of it was like some crazy shit, right? Some crazy production level. Like we started reinvesting a lot of money into the content right here, okay? Next one, we begun using our 3-day Instagram story sequence to funnel new followers over to our OnlyFans, okay? Patrick, we use Inflow, by the way. So, yeah, by the way, we then started leveraging our 3-day IG story sequence. So this is a whole concept and a strategy that I've come up with myself. I mean, to be honest, like 90% of the things that I do and people else do in this industry, like I've come up with and figured stuff out by myself. So that's why I do these live streams and teach you guys this stuff, because I just figure stuff out. I try it. Most of it doesn't work, by the way. Most of it doesn't. But then every now and then something really works, and I'm like, aha, I have a winner here. So the next one was the 3-day Instagram story sequence. Frederick, of course. The 3-day story sequence is super simple, right? So basically, what most people do is most people will go ahead and just say, on Instagram, post one Instagram story and just say, hey, come and subscribe to my OF, my spicy page. I'm live talking here, blah, 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 okay? Again, everybody does that. You don't stand out. You're the same as everybody else, okay? So what we do differently is we do it across 3 days, but the way that we do it is very interesting. Now, this is something inside of my paid mentorship, so I will not disclose like exactly how we do it. But there is a specific method that we do, and it just fucking cooks. To give you some examples, by just one of these 3-day Instagram story sequences, we were able to generate over 700 paid subscribers in 24 hours in one day. That's unheard of. That is fucking that's paid subscribers that paid $3 and I think it was like 49. Because I believe it was like $10 with a 75% discount, something like this. Insane. Fucking insane. So anyway, we started leveraging really like funneling that traffic. So now that we've built it all up on social media, we started funneling it over to OnlyFans, and we always were, but we really started to hone in on exactly how we do that. Okay? All right, cool. Next one, we started using more discount links and a few trial links to other platforms. To put simply, you have to give people an incentive to do something, right? Wow, Marcus, who would have fucking guessed? You're so smart. I know. But like a lot of the time, if you just constantly say like, hey, come over and subscribe to my page, blah, blah, that doesn't quite do it. That's not quite enough, okay? So we really started to use some free trial links on everywhere but Instagram. We even started using Facebook. We started using Threads. Started using it on X. Started using it on Reddit, right? I don't know if I mentioned that one. And so on, right? On Instagram, we never used a free trial link, but on the other platforms we did. However, on Instagram, we did start to use the discount link. So we started to give 50% off, 60% off, 75% off. And that's really like, this is the interesting thing, right? So for example, if we go back to here, actually I'm curious. So for example, yeah, probably, right? Yeah, okay, prime fucking example, right? Look at this shit, guys. So in August, we done $150,000 total, okay? And what I want you to focus on is the subscriptions. So in August, we made $28,900, let's just round it up, $29,000, right? We done $29,000 in subscriptions in August. However, for the total month, we done 150K. For October, for the month that just went last month, we done $182,000, right? So we made way fucking more. We made basically $32,000 more, right? However, look how crazy this is. For that specific month, we actually made less in subscriptions, and this is exactly the point I was making here, is we started to leverage a lot more of the discounts. So what's interesting is, although the income and the money in the subscriptions is slightly less, right? I mean, quite a lot less to be fair. It's from 28,000 to 21,000. So a whole $7,000 less. So technically, we lost $7,000 in subscription income, right? Because we started doing discount links, 60% off, 50% off, 75% off, etc. All right, that's why we made technically less, but we made considerably a lot more for the entire month because we had more people to talk to and we sold way more content in the DMs. Capish? Come on, bro. I'm a fucking genius at selling titty pics, bro. Okay, cool. Next thing, what do? We then started doing more collabs and organizing paid promo. So believe it or not, up until this point, it was practically all of it. With organic. Okay. So at this point, we now started reaching out to more pages, like other theme pages, similar niche as this creator, other creators on OnlyFans, and then eventually just other creators. Even people that are not on OnlyFans, but they have a big male audience, right? We started reaching out to those, started doing some paid promo, some paid shout outs, some paid collabs as well. We flew a couple people over to do in-person content with this specific creator. We also started to do some online collabs, meaning that it looks like they are actually together, but they're not. They're in whole different parts of the country. But the way we stitch the video together, it actually looks like they are in person, So yeah, started being very creative with all of these promo strategies. Next one, we hired a specific personal assistant for this creator, which was actually one of our friends. So this is huge. This is only really applicable for obviously a higher level. So this specific creator was already making $150,000 a month. And only then we hired her a personal assistant because again, we are constantly trying to maximize the content output and the content creation effort, right? And so then we're like, okay, well, what do you spend a lot of time on? What can we help you cut back on so you have more time to create content? And this is where this idea came in, right? So we literally have this specific person, a personal assistant, that does personal assistant stuff, as you can imagine, right? She also helps with a lot of online stuff. So she is the one that reaches out to other creators, organizes, collaborations and so on. Martin, what exactly are you talking about? You like using inverted commas, masking effect, or clever editing? Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Martin. So anyway, so that was a huge one as well. That also gave us a big boost because now the client has more time to create the content. That was a huge help. Okay, cool. Next one is we expanded the chatting team yet again and brought in another chatter manager. So now there's even more chatters. I believe there's a team of 12 or maybe even more. I actually need to double check. But there are now 2 chatter managers to oversee the entire team. So when one goes to sleep, the other one does a night shift, okay? And vice versa. It's just been an absolute game changer. So guys, that is, again, if we go back to here, that right there, my friends, is how we have scaled from $8,000, which is where this client started right here. So $8,700, fast forward to last month, $182,000. And that's net, by the way. Now, for anybody who's brand new to OF, by the way, for context, OnlyFans as a platform, they take 20%. So actually, just, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant, but it's just an interesting fact. Actually, we actually generated $228,752. Like, that's how much we actually generated. But after OnlyFans takes their 20%, these motherfuckers, we were left with 182K, right? Which is, yeah. But this month, I do believe that we're gonna smash 200K in net, okay? So guys, that's pretty crazy, right? Put a fire emoji if you guys enjoyed the lesson so far. This has definitely been a really valuable one. There's a lot that we've gone through so far with you guys. But yeah, fucking hell. Like I just gave you guys so much game. I think some of you guys don't even fucking realize it. So I've got a little surprise for you guys as well, right? So one interesting thing that we are doing throughout all of these live streams. So this is starting from today, but this is through these entire live streams, just so you guys know. At the very end of them, now I don't know how many we're gonna do. I don't know how many days we're gonna go on for, maybe how many weeks we're gonna go on for, right? But I'm gonna keep doing these until I explain to you guys exactly how to run your own OFM, right? Because this business model has changed my life, and I do believe that as long as you're 18 and over, that is the only requirement. Obviously, it goes without saying, the only requirement is that you're 18 and over. I don't think there's a better business model than this one. Now, one little interesting thing that we're going to be doing is at the end of these live events, well, once it's finished. So maybe let's just say if it's maybe a week from now, maybe 2 weeks from now, right? Whenever we finish all these live events, we will choose one person at random that fills in this form on the chat. So it's completely free. I'm not charging you anything. You don't have to fucking pay me anything. It's literally all free. You fill out the type form, and I will pick one random person at the end of all of these live events to fly you out to Dubai for an in-person mastermind one-on-one just with me. To either help you get started with your agency or scale your existing agency. Now, I do think that everybody here should already get started if you haven't already. So I don't think that, if I pick you and you fly out, you should have zero setup. Like, I think that'll waste your time and my time. Like, I do think you should already get started with this. But if you want to be in a chance to be selected, and this genuinely will be random, like I'll select somebody at random. Obviously, well, I say random, but I will have to obviously vet you. I'm not just gonna invite some fucking serial killer. So I'm gonna have to obviously vet you. We'll reach out to you, me and my team will interview you and speak to you and so on. Yeah, like out of everybody that fills in the type form, doesn't matter where you're from, it can be anywhere. We'll fly you out to Dubai, and then I'll teach you in person everything that I'm going through here, but just in even more detail, right? And obviously with you personally, let's just say you are already at $15,000 a month, and you have like some particular issue that you're struggling with, like maybe a specific marketing problem or a specific chatting issue, or maybe your chatting ratio is a little bit shit, right? You may be making $2,000 from subscriptions and you're only making $3,000 from the messages, right? Like I can come in and the subscriptions can stay the same, but I can improve your messages, and all of a sudden you're making like fucking 2 times, 3 times the amount of money from just one simple hack, right? From one simple tip. We've had Frederick and Joachim. They were in the live chat here earlier. They were actually 2 of the guys that I've already done this with, right? They were, if I remember correctly, at like $34,000 a month. I flew them out to Dubai for about a week or so. They were here. Let me actually see if I can get their results up from the Discord. Let me see if I can find this out. Yeah, anyway, long story short, we flew them out. Yeah, after about a week of being here, they went from $34,000 as an agency to over $90,000. How fucking cool is that? So again, I just have the power to fix this shit, right? So if you would be interested, you just have to fill out the form and make sure you do it correctly. Make sure you don't fuck it up. So yeah. Let me see, Fred. For some reason, it's not coming up. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why it's not coming up. Joking. Huh. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, let me just share this with you guys and show you guys what's going on in the behind the scenes of this. So this is our Discord. So this is the behind the scenes. So these are obviously all the paid members in here. But you got people, sign in their first client, just sign a new model, boom, just right there. Not even 2 days into the month, Josh is already doing $2,300. So, I mean, if he's on that trajectory, he's probably going to be doing anywhere around $40,000 to $60,000, which is awesome. Yeah, I just saw Dylan said outreach definitely the hardest part. Bro, in here, like the people in here, trust me, like once you know what I know and I go through it, outreach is one of the easiest parts. Like here, another student of ours doing $115,000. Santino making $43.5 thousand. Fox making $111.8 thousand. And these are all different people, as you can see. Wrapped up my first full month. Bro, how fucking crazy is that? His first full month, and he's done $41.5 thousand. Like, I've genuinely cracked the fucking code on how to make infinite money with this business model. And that's why I teach this stuff, right? Because the clients that I work with, are not the same as you guys. So this is obviously for me. So for me, last month I finished on $335,500. Josh, $1,000 right there. A bunch of $200 payments. Again, another client signed right here. Some more results, which is pretty cool. Again, first week with a new client. This guy, Doug, bought a new car, by the way. This is it. So fucking G. So Doug joined our mentorship program, put in the hard work, and is now just bought a new fucking, that's so G. That's one of the fucking coolest cars I've ever seen. 87 new subscribers in 10 minutes, so we know exactly how to do the marketing, the chatting, and so on. Anyway, guys, yeah, you guys kind of get the idea, all right? Anyway, so for today's live stream, guys, these were the main topics that I wanted to cover. Well, the main thing was to do the breakdown of exactly how we helped one of our clients scale from $8,000 to $182,000. I've just explained to you guys exactly how the fuck I done it. Okay, I gave you all the bullet points. Obviously, this is just a 1 hour live event. I can't explain everything in full detail because I'd be here for like 4 weeks. But that is what I do inside of the paid mentorship program, by the way. If anyone's interested, just message me on Instagram. That is not what this live is about, by the way. But if you are interested, just message me on Instagram at Marcus Hassel. I'm the one that responds to the DMs, by the way. So you can drop me a message on that. Anyway, so tomorrow we have another live event, exactly the same time. Tomorrow's one is fucking crazy. Make sure you go on there because, believe it or not, I truly believe that tomorrow's live event is going to be the most pivotal one, whether you succeed or not. Crazy. Trust me, you're going to want to be there. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate all of you guys for checking in on here. All right. So yeah, I'm going to leave you to it and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time. All right. Thanks, guys.